A whistle. But is there something between what we saw last night and a punch in the face?
It's a good question. Bob, thank you for the call. I would say we know blatant when we see it. As people that love basketball, as watch basketball all the time, I know a blatant foul when I see one. And I think it's ridiculous to assume that officials call things the same way with 10 minutes to go in the first half versus 3 seconds to go with a trip to the championship game on the line versus the most watched women's sporting event ever versus a high school game where there are 7 people in attendance. Like, officials are human, Gabe, and so all of these things I think play into, and I think good officials allow some physicality, especially when championships are on the line.
I think that they allowed physicality last night. If that's a regular season game, I'm not sure if UConn is able to be as physical as they were with Caitlin Clark. Like, there was a lot of grabbing, there was a lot of making sure, denying her the basketball, and look, I was fine with that. Okay, this is the way you're going to be calling the games, this is the way you're officiating that. And where we disagree is, to me, that was blatant. That was obvious. That was, you have to call that.
Yeah.
It's not a flagrant foul, but it's an obvious foul that had an impact on the play that was going on. I don't think it was ticky-tack because you bumped the defender off of their route to try to play defense when you didn't have a right to the space.
And Gabe, I've seen worse moving screens not get called this March, I think. But that's maybe just my opinion. And I also think that the contact got accentuated because it was the biggest player on the floor and the smallest player on the floor making contact with each other. I mean, Gabby Marshall is all of 5 foot nothing. So when Aaliyah Edwards makes contact with her, of course she's going to go flying.
But, I mean, again, you catch an elbow to the chest from somebody that, who's that much bigger than you. I don't think she accentuated it. I think that was, like you said, she's a little bit smaller. Aaliyah's probably a little stronger than her at that size as well, and you get knocked off. And when your elbow is outside your framework, and I don't even know if I can spread my legs apart as wide as Edwards' legs were. There was no set to it. She was late. It was blatantly obvious. And to me, if you don't call that, then we're not calling any fouls ever in the last 10 seconds of the game.
And I didn't see it as that blatant. Solomon is in L.A., joins us on ESPN Radio. What's up, Solomon?
Hey, guys. On my call. Listen, 75 years old in July. I watched a lot of basketball. And I tell you, I get really sick and tired of referees massaging the game. And I don't like the unwritten rules of basketball, pro or college. A foul in the first quarter is not the same as a foul in the fourth quarter. Stars get the call, rookies don't, blah, blah, blah. Stop it. A foul is a foul is a foul. And here's the most egregious. When we swallow the whistle and let the players decide it, excuse me, the players don't have a whistle around their neck. You decided. If a defensive player decides to foul like in pro in particular, you're up by 2 and, the player's driving to the basket and you decide to foul that player. I'm going to foul him and make him win or lose that game at the free throw line, and you swallow the whistle as the ref. Who just decided the end of that game? Not the player. You just took it out of the hands of the player. So look at, the guy was technical about it. He didn't care. He actually did his job. I'm a referee. I see a foul. I'm calling it. Oh, no. You can't call that. It's the end of the game. I'm sorry. I saw a foul.
Yeah.
Done.
I disagree because I think that circumstances matter when it comes to every part of sports. And so I think officiating is always, Gabe, subjective. Okay, first of all. Now, this is not, either the ball hit the line or it didn't. Gabby Marshall's foot was behind the three-point line. Gabby Marshall's toe was on the three-point line. This is a subjective call. It is. And so when you're talking about subjectivity, I think that circumstances, where the game is, over the history of sports, as much as I wish that you were right and we could all act like we were robots and computers, we're not. And when I say I'd like players to decide the outcome of the game, I would have liked to see where that play was going. Beckers was coming off the screen, and she was about to catch the pass, and she was either going to feed Edwards inside or she was going to take the shot there to try to win it, Gabe.
Yeah, and again, I think that the play got thrown off because of Edwards' illegal movement that would have freed herself up, I think, for a wide open play. Because her defender ends up going out to Becker's because of the way that the other defender got knocked off, and she would have been wide open, maybe not all the way to the rim, but a little 6-foot little floater, 5-foot little push shot, something like that, where they would have gotten, I think, a really good look because she just didn't set a legal screen. And to me, that's
price as well. I mean, as you said earlier, there is hundreds and hundreds of steps that you need to take, and you've got to be able to make sure that you are giving the most valuable information, that we're the knowledge broker, and we charge the same as people that are part-time, people that are dabbling. I mean, you've got to make sure that you are with people that have a proven track record. I mean, it's not a joke that we're with Forbes Global Properties. I mean, they hand-selected us. There's only 3 companies across Canada that were selected by Forbes Global Properties. So if you're looking at working with people, I talked to Diane the other day too. Someone said, well, I'll come in and physically stage your home. Okay, what does that mean exactly? Are they taking furniture, because I know they are, from Value Village or from other places, or they have stuff at home, they bring their own furniture over? When you stage a property, it needs to be staged to the buyer. What type of buyer? So if I'm staging, for example, a 1-bedroom unit downtown, it probably may be a bachelor, that's going to be buying there. So when we are staging our properties, we do them all virtually. They're absolutely outstanding, and they're absolutely done to the level. And the photography, we made a joke about a photographer the other day on someone's listing. We bring in the best photographers, right, Brett?
Oh, the one photo, and I'll share this with everybody listening right now, because when we saw it, we actually couldn't believe it. In this photo, they had gone ahead, and it was a rainy day. They had taken it from their car through the window with raindrops on it to the house at maybe dusk. So you could see the reflection of their cell phone taking the photo in the corner of the photo. And this is someone who's charging the exact same amount as someone who has the highest quality of photos. It's shocking, to be honest with you. But at the same time, what that is an advantage for those who are smart enough to work with, quality people at the Bennett Property Shop, because we know when we go in here, there's also some times where they may not necessarily be doing the right things, so we have to pick up the slack, because when it comes down to it, we have a fiduciary responsibility to look after our clients' best interest. And if that means we have to do some things that are outside of what our normal activities are to make sure that they're looked after, we are happy to do so. We don't abdicate our responsibilities to other people, right? We take our job very seriously, and we appreciate the opportunity to help people, because when it comes down to it, the Bennett Property Shop is a family-owned brokerage, and we treat people like their family.
This is the Real Estate and Wealth Show on News Talk 580 CFRA, featuring Bennett Property Shop and Forbes Global Properties, Ottawa's #1 resale real estate team, 2019 through 2023.
Vassy Capellos talks to the biggest newsmakers.
Is this going to be a political liability for the government?
People, politics, and to the point.
Asking the questions you want answered.
The Vassy Capellos Show.
On air and always streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
We're PC Express. Of course we do online grocery delivery and pickup.
We're PC Express. Of course we save you time and money.
We're PC Express. Of course we'll give you $30 in points plus 3 months free delivery and pickup.
Get started at pcexpress.ca.
Travel is back, and so is Elliot.
Ahoy and welcome. Elliot here from Expedia Cruises, Canada and Westboro. I get asked many questions. The most common, when should I book? Why would I use an agent? Well, those are easy to answer. The earlier you book, the better. It's the way the industry works. As a ship, plane, or resort fills up, the prices rise. The early bird really does get the work. Why use an agent? Heck, when you do it yourself, you're your own advocate. You don't get a discount, and we are never, ever more expensive than direct. I guarantee that. The real question is, why would you not use an agent? We lay our offers on top of the cruise line, and the best part, in addition to our expertise, we don't charge fees for cruises or packages at my Expedia Cruises offices in Canada or Westboro. So give me a call directly at 613-722-5000.
Air, sea, and land vacations with Elliot's travel team. Call 722-5000 and away you go. Get a TSN 3-month pass for $40 and go all in on March Madness, the the Masters, and more. Also included TSN Plus. Subscribe now. Offer ends April 14th. Terms apply. Visit tsn.ca/subscribe.
Squinting to see clearly? Tired of blurry vision and juggling multiple sets of glasses? Love your better vision with Focus Eye Center.
A no-obligation, no-pressure consultation with a doctor is the first step towards seeing the alarm clock, your smartphone, and freedom from wearing contacts during sports.
For many people insured by Canada Life and Blue Cross, there are positive changes in your vision benefits coverage in 2024. Step toward better vision. Call Focus Eye Center 613-724-3937.
For 30 years and counting, generations of families in Eastern Ontario have entrusted their care to Focus Eye Center.
Want better vision for sports and recreation or just day-to-day activities? A no-obligation, no-pressure consultation with a doctor is the first step toward freedom from glasses and contacts.
And for many people insured by Canada Life and Blue Cross, there are positive changes to vision benefits coverage in 2024.
Love your vision. Discover what Focus Eye can do for you. Call 613-724-EYES.
Severance package? I only owe you 2 weeks' pay.
Think you may be owed more? Find out now at employmentlawyer.ca. Answer a few simple questions, and in seconds, you'll receive free answers for your workplace issues. Go to employmentlawyer.ca. Learn how severance is really calculated, and find out how to get what you're legally owed. Always check with the employment lawyer, Lior Samfiru, first at employmentlawyer.ca.
Hello?
I see you.
Who is this?
I see what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
I see you're alone.
My boyfriend's right here.
Who is it?
I see that you're...
I see that you can't see well at all. Get up to $125 off prescription glasses at New Look. Offer ends June 2nd at Morado Opticians.
Now back to the Real Estate and Wealth Show on News Talk 580 CFRA.
Featuring the Bennett Property Shop and Forbes Global Properties, Ottawa's #1 resale real estate team, 2019 through 2023.
Another impressive just-listed list from the Bennett Property Shop, including 9 Reedy Court, Beaverbrook for $499.9, 3-bed, 2-bath. It's a 3-story condo row unit with an updated kitchen, parking for 2 cars, including an attached private garage space, quiet, friendly family neighborhood, beautifully bordered by Canada Lakes Golf Course. Which brings me to the question, Marty, what do we need to know about buying or selling a condo?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, a lot of people don't realize a condo is a legal definition, so it's not necessarily, because we always envision that it's a high-rise. I mean, it could be a townhome. It could be, we call them executive stacked terrace townhomes. It could even be a single-family home. So it's just what the legal definition is of how the property is done. So, I mean, we obviously have been experts in condominiums. We've sold thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And you definitely is a completely different legal process. And the questions you've got to ask is it's common living now, okay? I mean, and not all condos, again, are created equal. So, I mean, some condos may have amenities. You may own, some of them you may own the balconies, some of them you may not. Some of them you may own your own windows, some of them you may not. Like, so there's different rules and regulations and ownership. And Brett, you're a condo specialist. You've done lots of condos. So what are the things that a seller should be aware of and a buyer when they're selling or buying a condo?
That's a great question, Marty. We get this a lot, especially because the condo market is so unique, because typically what people associate with condos is either very maintenance-free living, right? And especially with some of the younger generation, they'd rather lock and leave, right? Lock it up, not worry about the grass, not worry about, shoveling the snow, and just get on with their day and their travels, whatever the case may be. But a few of the important things to consider whenever you're looking at condominiums from a buyer's perspective on the first side is whenever you're looking at a condominium at a prospective building, is just like you would buy a stock, you want to do research on the stock, okay? And oftentimes that information with regards to the financials, some of the bylaws about the building are always reviewed in the status certificate. So you want to have an idea of how old the building is, what exactly is included in the condominium fee. Now the condominium fee is not the same unit per unit typically, let's say in the example of a high-rise. The condominium fee is representative of the percentage of the property that you own. So for example, a 2-bedroom condo is going to have a higher percentage of the overall building than a 1-bedroom condo. The parking spot is going to have a little bit of a say in that Do you have a locker? These are all things that, are proportionate to what your condominium fee is. But the real question, the real thing you want to be looking at right now is, where has the building had any special assessments? What is the reserve fund study, and when was the last one time that was done? Because the province makes sure that the condo boards have to do certain things at certain increments over the course of a calendar year. Now, the one issue we're facing in the city of Ottawa right now, and it's probably across the country if I'm being quite honest, is that a lot of the condo fund studies and a lot of the upkeep that's scheduled to be performed over the course of time has been built in with what inflation numbers were years ago, okay? So what does that mean? Well, when inflation has risen, that new elevator or the new pool or maybe the new gym equipment, it all costs more money. So unless you've had a really savvy condo board or a property manager who's been looking at it and has been able to, build up a stash, a rainy day stash for the condo, sometimes we're looking at higher condo fees and they're happening relatively quickly. Or sometimes we're in a situation where, these particular costs are being burdened by a special assessment. So these are things that if you're a buyer, you want to make sure that those costs are incorporated into an offer and that you're going to be coming into a property that you're feeling comfortable about the evaluation of. We see that with a lot of the older buildings in the city, but Marnie, to your point, we deal with a lot of sellers on the condo side, and when we're getting ready to list a condo, we're taking a deep dive into what exactly the condo has to offer, because as you were talking about the differences between the high-rise and the condo towns and the condo single family, is that we want to make sure that we know exactly where some of the lifespan is and some of the amenities, right? Because when a buyer comes in, we don't want them to get the status certificate and then try to renegotiate against us. We want to be ahead of the game, so we want to have all the knowledge we possibly can of not only the unit, but the condominium corporation, so we can adequately represent their best needs.
Yeah, condo lifestyle living, is very desirable, and safety is there, and a lot of people like pet policies. What are the pet policies? Because everyone usually has a little dog or a cat or whatever they're looking at. You want to be looking at, as you said, of course, the financial health. You want to look at rental policies as well. You want to make sure that, can I do short-term rentals? Because maybe you travel or you're a snowbird and, you go away for a few months. You also want to look at the frequency, how many homes and units are selling. Is there a lot of turnover? Because that's going to put, little light bulbs. And, at the Bennett Property Shop, we actually have profiles on most of all the buildings. We know all, what the situation is and, if they've had a lot of problems with it. So you're working with condo specialists. Some of the condo fees, for example, there's some